Hi everyone. Welcome back to Faye and Stories. There's a list of wonders from the ancient world, but only one of them might have never existed at all.
Wait, what? How can it be a wonder if no one's seen it?
Good question. But even today, some historians say the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were a lie.
You mean it was ancient propaganda?
Pretty much. But here's the weird part. Multiple civilizations recorded it, even described the water system in detail.
So, who built it then? Aliens? Time travelers? That one Mesopotamian influencer?
Let's find out. Today we're diving into the 7 legendary wonders that once defined the ancient world. Some real, some lost, and some maybe never even existed. So the story goes like this. Thousands of years ago, in the city of Babylon, there stood a garden so lush, so enormous, it looked like it floated in the air.
Aw, was it built for someone in love?
Yes, allegedly, King Nebuchadnezzar II built it for his wife. She missed the green mountains of her homeland, so he created an artificial paradise in the middle of the desert.
Okay, that's either peak romance or peak simping.
Either way, the descriptions are wild. Terraces stacked high like a ziggurat, waterfalls flowing from above, exotic plants from faraway lands.
Sounds like ancient Dubai.
Exactly. And here's where it gets interesting. The garden supposedly used an advanced irrigation system, a chain pump to lift water from the Euphrates River to the top level.
Hold on, ancient chain pumps in a desert? That sounds a bit too sci-fi.
You're not wrong. Some historians think it was more myth than fact. Main reason? No archaeological evidence.
Wait, nothing at all? No ruins? No flower pots? Not even ancient Instagram selfies?
Nothing. Not even a stone. And, this is the kicker, the Babylonians themselves never mentioned it.
What? So the people who lived there didn't write it down? Who did then?
Mainly Greek historians like Strabo and Philo. They wrote about it centuries later based on second-hand stories.
So basically, I heard from a guy whose uncle knew a merchant who saw a thing one time.
Exactly. And some researchers believe the Greeks confused Babylon with Nineveh, a city 300 miles away.
So the most beautiful garden ever might have been a typo?
A historical copy-paste error. And yet, it's still considered one of the 7 wonders.
Why?
Because even if it didn't exist, the idea of it captivated generations. A paradise in the desert. Love, beauty, engineering. It had everything.
So it was never about whether it existed. It was about what it represented.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, that's why it's still on the list. Next up, the mighty Zeus. Worshipped as the king of the gods in Greek mythology, his statue at Olympia wasn't just big. It was so massive, people thought if he ever stood up, he'd break the roof.
That's kind of terrifying. Like, here's our god, and by the way, he can't stretch or the whole place collapses.
Exactly. Built around 435 BC by the sculptor Phidias, it stood inside the Temple of Zeus, one of the holiest places in ancient Greece.
Wait, Phidias? Didn't he also work on the Parthenon?
Yep, he was like the Michelangelo of ancient Greece. Except instead of painting ceilings, he was melting gold and ivory to make god statues.
Wait, gold and ivory? This wasn't just big. It was blinged out.
Oh yeah. The statue was about 40 feet tall, seated on a throne with robes made of hammered gold and skin made from ivory plates.
Ivory skin? Gold clothes? Zeus was out here cosplaying as a billionaire influencer.
And he held a figure of Nike, the goddess of victory, in one hand and a scepter with an eagle in the other.
Classic Zeus, always holding something dramatic.
Now here's where it gets strange. No one actually knows what happened to the statue.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there are multiple theories, but they all conflict.
Give me the juicy ones. Urban legend me up.
One theory says it was taken to Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, and later destroyed in a fire.
Ugh, fire again. Ancient buildings had zero chill with fire safety.
Another theory says it was disassembled, lost in transport. And here's the weirdest one. Some believe it was buried under the temple, never moved at all.
So you're saying there might be a giant gold and ivory god still lying under ancient Olympia?
Possibly, but excavation efforts haven't found anything conclusive.
Okay, if one day archaeologists unearth Zeus's foot, just a giant golden toe sticking out of the dirt, I'm subscribing to every conspiracy newsletter out there.
You're gonna love this then. Some modern cults believe that Phidias infused the statue with divine energy. They think it wasn't just a tribute to a god, it was a channel to the god.
And that explains why Zeus hasn't logged into Earth since the statue disappeared.
Exactly. So, whether it was destroyed, stolen, or waiting beneath the ruins, one thing is for sure. Zeus at Olympia wasn't just a statue. It was a symbol of awe, fear, and divine power, and probably the most expensive chair warmer in history. If you ever think people in modern times will do anything for clout, wait till you hear about the Temple of Artemis.
Oh, I know this one. Isn't that the guy you burned it down on purpose?
Yep, his name was Herostratus, and he literally committed arson just to be famous.
Our first influencer. Burning temples before burning bridges was cool.
So here's the story. The Temple of Artemis, located in Ephesus in modern-day Turkey, was one of the largest temples ever built. It was dedicated to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, fertility, and the moon.
Wait, she did all that? And I can't even finish my emails before 4 p.m.?
The temple was huge, twice the size of the Parthenon. It had 127 marble columns, each standing 60 feet tall.
127? That's not a temple, that's a marble forest.
And it wasn't just a religious site. It was also a marketplace, an art museum, and a bank. People came from all over to worship and trade.
So, like a divine shopping mall?
Pretty much, until 356 BC, when Herostratus showed up.
He wasn't there to pray.
Nope. He snuck in at night, set the temple on fire, and when they caught him, he confessed immediately. He said, "So my name would live forever."
Well, mission accomplished?
Not quite. The city was so angry, they forbade anyone from ever saying his name again.
Which clearly worked, because now we teach him in history class.
Yeah, the Streisand effect, ancient edition.
Did they rebuild the temple?
They did, bigger and better. Even Alexander the Great offered to help, but they politely declined.
They turned down Alexander? Wow. That's the ancient version of leaving Elon Musk on red.
Eventually, the temple was destroyed again, multiple times, by floods, looters, earthquakes. But Herostratus's fire is the one everyone remembers.
Because it wasn't about nature or war. It was one man's ego versus a literal wonder of the world.
And in a twisted way, he kind of won. All right, time to talk about a grave. But not just any grave. This one was so elaborate, so over the top, it became the reason we call giant tombs mausoleums today.
A grave so extra, it changed the dictionary. I'm listening.
So the mausoleum at Halicarnassus was built around 350 BC for Mausolus, a Persian governor under the Achaemenid Empire.
Wait, his name was Mausolus? And now we call big graves mausoleums? That's kind of creepy branding.
Right? But here's the twist. He didn't even build it. It was commissioned by his wife, Artemisia II, who was also his sister.
What?
Yeah, marrying your sibling was more acceptable back then, especially among royal families. Like, dynasty thing, or a power move, or both.
So she was like, I love you so much, I'm going to build you a giant death palace with statues on every corner. Totally normal relationship.
She spared no expense. The mausoleum was over 135 feet tall, adorned with massive sculptures of chariots, lions, and gods. It combined Greek, Egyptian, and Lycian architecture in one mega monument.
That's like building a tomb out of Paris, Cairo, and Athens at the same time.
Exactly. It stood on a hill overlooking the city, so everyone knew this guy, he was important.
Or his wife had excellent PR skills.
Now here's where it gets eerie. There are rumors that Artemisia was so heartbroken, she drank his ashes mixed with wine.
She what now?
You heard me. Drank his ashes.
That's not love. That's an ancient crime show waiting to happen.
Well, no one knows if it's true, but the story definitely added to the mausoleum's creepy legend.
And people visited it?
Oh yeah, it became a tourist attraction in ancient times, until earthquakes destroyed it between the 12th and 15th centuries.
So romantic. Until geology showed up and said no.
Some of the stones were later reused in castles and buildings nearby, which means you could be standing in a medieval fort, leaning on a rock that used to be part of a love tomb built by a royal sister wife.
You had to say sister wife, didn't you?
Of course, gotta keep it real. Okay, time for the most famous wonder of them all, the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Finally, one I actually remember from school.
It's the only ancient wonder that still exists today, and somehow, it's the one we understand the least.
Wait, what do you mean? It's a big triangle made of rocks. What's there to not understand?
It's a bit more than that. It was built over 4,500 years ago, using over 2 million stone blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons. And they're fitted so precisely, you can't slide a piece of paper between them.
Ancient Egyptians invented laser cutters? Or was it aliens?
Ah, yes. One of the oldest conspiracy theories ever. Some people believe the pyramid was built using anti-gravity technology, or by a lost civilization more advanced than us.
To be fair, I've seen modern construction crews take 3 months to fix a sidewalk, so I kinda get it.
Even the alignment is weird. The pyramid is almost perfectly aligned to true north, with an error of just 3/60th of a degree. Better than most modern compasses.
So, either they had alien GPS, or someone was cheating with Google Earth.
Now here's something that blew my mind. Some believe the pyramid isn't a tomb at all.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no mummies were ever found inside. Some theorists claim it was a power plant, or a resonance chamber, or even a portal to somewhere else.
Like the entrance of Hollow Earth?
Exactly. Some legends say the pyramid was a marker, an entrance to the underworld, or even a dimensional gate.
You're telling me the same place tourists take selfies at might actually be guarding the door to the upside down?
Hey, weirder things have happened. Remember, it stood through earthquakes, floods, wars, while every other wonder crumbled.
That's suspicious.
Very. And get this, modern engineers have tried replicating it, but they failed. We still don't know exactly how they moved and set the stones.
So we're just guessing? This isn't History Channel. This is X-Files Pyramid Edition.
Call it what you want, but whether it was divine genius, alien tech, or ancient engineering, the Great Pyramid didn't just survive. It transcended time.
And maybe that's why it was never just a wonder. It was a message.
To us? Or from something else? All right, imagine this. You're sailing into a port in ancient Greece, and towering above you is a giant bronze god, 100 feet tall, shining in the sun.
Like the Statue of Liberty's ancient uncle.
Exactly. That was the Colossus of Rhodes, built around 280 BC to honor the sun god Helios.
Wait, Helios? Wasn't he the one who literally drove the sun across the sky every day?
Yep. And the people of Rhodes believed he helped them defeat an invading army. So they built this giant thank you statue at their harbor.
And by thank you, they meant, let's casually build something that rivals a skyscraper. Totally normal.
It took 12 years to complete, and they used melted down weapons and siege equipment from the defeated army to build it.
Recycling and revenge. That's ancient sustainability.
The statue stood over 100 feet tall. That's as tall as the Statue of Liberty without her pedestal. It held a torch in one hand and a spear in the other.
Okay, but did it really stand across the harbor, like 1 foot on each side of the entrance?
Ah, yes, the classic urban legend. Sadly, no. That image came from later artistic imagination. Realistically, it was probably standing on solid ground near the entrance, not straddling it.
Aw, I wanted the ancient Gundam version, but go on.
It only stood for about 54 years. Then a massive earthquake hit Rhodes and snapped the statue at the knees.
No, his bronze ACLs.
The statue collapsed into pieces, but the ruins remained lying on the ground for over 800 years.
Wait, people just walked around a broken sun god for centuries?
Yep, visitors came from all over just to see the ruins. Even broken, it was still awe-inspiring.
But what happened to the pieces?
Here comes the spooky part. In 654 AD, Arab forces invaded and allegedly sold the bronze for scrap. Legend says it took 900 camels to carry all the parts away.
900 camels? That's not looting. That's a full-on logistics operation.
And some say the metal was melted down and lost forever. Others believe parts of it were used in secret temples or weapons.
Or maybe Helios didn't like being sold off, and he cursed whoever touched his body.
You'd love ancient Reddit.
I'm just saying, if the sun gets hotter every year, maybe it's not climate change. Maybe Helios is still mad.
And that, my friend, is why we wear sunscreen. Our final wonder takes us to Egypt, to the edge of the ancient world, where a tower once stood so tall, sailors could see it from over 30 miles away.
That's farther than some Wi-Fi signals in my apartment.
This was the Lighthouse of Alexandria, built on the island of Pharos around 280 BC.
Wait, is that why some people call lighthouses pharaohs in old texts?
Exactly. This was the original lighthouse, the blueprint for every other beacon tower ever built.
So how tall was it?
Estimates say anywhere between 350 to 400 feet. That made it one of the tallest man-made structures in the ancient world, second only to the Great Pyramid.
Okay, Egypt, we get it. You are winning the skyline game.
It was made of limestone and granite with 3 tiers, a square base, an octagonal middle, and a cylindrical top. At the very top was a mirror system that reflected sunlight by day and firelight by night.
Wait, a mirror system in 280 BC?
Yeah, and that mirror is the center of a crazy legend.
Tell me, I'm ready for the conspiracy.
Some ancient texts claimed the mirror could focus sunlight into a heat ray, that it could burn enemy ships before they reached the harbor.
Are you saying they built a giant solar death beam?
That's the urban legend. Modern tests say it's unlikely, but the myth lives on.
And what happened to it? Please don't say earthquake.
Earthquake.
No, not again.
A series of quakes between the 10th and 14th centuries damaged it severely. By 1480, it was completely gone, and parts of it were used to build a nearby fort.
So another wonder got turned into a building supply store?
Pretty much. But here's where it gets cool. In the 1990s, archaeologists found huge stone blocks and statues underwater, right where the lighthouse once stood.
So you're saying it's still down there?
At least parts of it. And now, there's talk of making the underwater ruins into a museum.
So in the future, we could literally dive down to visit a wonder of the world.
Yep, the last wonder might not be lost forever, just waiting beneath the waves.
That's beautiful. A lighthouse still guiding people, even after it's gone.
And that, my friend, is the real wonder.
So now you've seen all 7.
Some stood for centuries, others barely made it 50 years, but they all had one thing in common.
They made people dream.
Exactly. They weren't just buildings. They were messages carved into stone, reminders that humans always reach for something bigger, whether it's for gods, for glory, or for love.
Or sometimes for clout. Shout out to Herostratus.
Yeah, even the worst ones made history. And maybe that's the real lesson.
That one day, our skyscrapers might be dust, but people will still be telling stories about them?
Maybe. Or maybe someone far in the future will look at the ruins of our world and ask, was this one of their 7 wonders?
If you could bring back just one, which would you choose?
Easy, the Hanging Gardens. Even if it was fake, I'd want to see what kind of fantasy makes generations believe it was real.
I'd pick the lighthouse, a building that helps people find their way. That's the kind of wonder we still need.
Nice choice. Oh, and if you're wondering about the new 7 wonders of the modern world, yeah, that's a whole other story. We'll dive into those in a future episode.
Spoiler alert, one of them has Wi-Fi and a food court.
So stay tuned. Let us know in the comments, if you could bring one wonder back, which one would it be?
And don't say all of them. That's cheating.